Susan Hampshire, you're playing Molly MacDonald in Monarch of the Glen. How much of a welcome change is that from all the costume dramas you've played in the past?
Well, the loveliest thing in the world is not to be putting on a corset and pantaloons and a wig and all the things which they weigh so much and they're so restricting and you feel so tired at the end of the day, so it's fantastic to be in sloppy clothes. And most of the time Molly's in gardening clothes or old skirts or huge jumpers. Also the clothes are very warm. I'm not having to worry about bare shoulders and is the shoulder, are they made up to look nice alabaster colour. If I wanted to go in the sun, I could, whereas normally you keep out of the sun if you're doing period drama because you don't want to look anything other than absolutely as white as you can be. So
Porcelain white.
It's very relaxing. Porcelain white, yes, it's very relaxing in comparison.
Molly's part has grown and evolved over the series, yet from the beginning you gave us a huge sense of her presence, both on and off the screen, if I may say so. Was that part of the challenge of taking the role of Molly?
Well, often when you do a part, it's kind of by default. I mean, other people were supposed to play this part before me. The first person at the very last minute couldn't do it because her daughter was having a baby and she desperately wanted to be with her daughter who hadn't had a child before. So that was the first person gone. Then there were a couple of others and I don't know quite what happened. And then suddenly at the last minute there was me. And I didn't really have long enough to think about it. All I thought about was, isn't this wonderful to be part of something which seems to be the sort of entertainment, there's a huge hole in the market for what I call family entertainment that's light, romantic, slightly unrealistic, and so I thought it was just a nice idea to be in it. But if you're playing an important person's wife, you then automatically get a little bit of importance. The part was absolutely a cough and a spit. Because I was Richard Breyer's wife, I somehow had a place in the series. But it was a place that I fought for. I mean, I had to find ways of making her interesting, even if it was, keep a feather duster and yellow rubber gloves on in a scene, or be looking under a chair for something to make her somebody who was more alive and not just standing and nodding and saying yes behind her husband's shoulder.
Monarch of the Glen is filmed up in the Highlands of Scotland. How much do you feel that the scenery has helped with the popularity of the programme?
The scenery is almost the major star of the show. The scenery, they should be paying the scenery, not the actors. I mean, it is so important, the scenery, and it is so, so beautiful. And it's beautiful for us. I mean, I do the same journey to work every morning. It's a 40-minute journey. And every single morning, at least 3 times, I say, I can't believe this is so beautiful. And the light is always different. It is exquisitely beautiful if you like nature. If you hate nature, then it's an anathema to you and you feel as if you're on the moon and, not a happy person, but I love it.
And what else do you think adds to the series' popularity?
Well, as you probably have noticed, there's no swearing, there aren't any major rows, there's no bad language. We don't only see people in close-up, we actually see them standing and we see the room that they're standing in, which is very nice. We sometimes see them with a beautiful piece of scenery behind them. But humour is the most important ingredient, and it's the most difficult thing to do, to write something which has a light humour and still carry an emotional story through.
When you look at practically any episode, you see all these marvellous locations around you, and it is absolutely believable that they are just a few yards from the main house.
Yes.
Is that in fact the reality of the situation, or do you have to go miles to get to each of them?
Some of the beautiful locations are absolutely at the back door and all around the house. And the others we never travel more than an hour. But, I mean, the schedule of working up there, first of all, it's 7 months filming. People think I go up for 3 weeks and do 10 episodes. It's 7 months of commuting, having the odd day off. And when we're shooting 1 episode at a time, it means you can't go home for 3 weeks. We do a 6-day week or 11-day fortnight. I'm up at 4:45 every morning, getting to makeup by 6 something. And shooting the first scene at 8 o'clock. That I'm doing relentlessly, even if I'm in the background for 7 months and not very many days off. We're supposed to finish at 7. With some directors we finish at 6, which is nice. But anyway, we still don't get home until just before 8. You learn your lines, and you're getting up at 4:45. You eat something, you go to bed. So it's not a honeymoon. It's not what I might call a totally relaxing shoot.
So you mentioned that you're up at 5 o'clock in the morning. How does the day pan out for you then? How many scenes would you be expected to do per day?
I mean, when they're doing 3 episodes at a time, which is sometimes we do 3 episodes in a block, then in the morning I could do 2 scenes from episode 1. In the afternoon, because it's in the dining room, a scene from episode 2, and at the end of the day, a scene from episode 3, or they may not even be in that order, they might do 3, 2, and 1, but it's jumbled up. It's almost always jumbled up. We never do it in sequence. But that's because they're trying to use us as efficiently as possible and not to have us, there for 7 years, because otherwise it takes 7 years to make. We only shoot 5 minutes a day, which is not that much.
So have there been any glaring continuity mistakes doing it that way?
Oh no, we have the most... The people on the set that really need the praise are not the actors. They go home, learn their lines, and they're pampered all day. There's somebody if it's cold with an umbrella or a coat. There's somebody to do your makeup and your hair. There's a car to take us up and down the hill so we don't get wet and look wrong for the scene. The people that really work on the set, first of all, the camera operator. He's got his eye to that all day long. Can you imagine how tired he is? The focus puller and the lighting men and continuity. Those are the people that really, really, really work so hard. Props work hard. I don't know there's a new word for it, for the people who do the electrics, the lights or whatever it's called. We used to call them gaffers. I don't know what the word is. But anyway, the people that do all the lights, they work really hard. But the actors, we get a break. So we can go up and have a cup of tea if we're not in the next scene. First assistant works really hard. Second and third assistant work really hard. But don't ever feel sorry for the actors.
You obviously enjoy playing comedy, but actors always say that it's the most difficult thing to play. Why is it so difficult?
All television or all drama or entertainment just relies on the script. And all types of comedy need a different type of technique. Some is Norman Wisdom type comedy, and you slip on a banana skin. This is very light comedy. What it is heightened reality.
It's almost a comedy of manners, isn't it?
Yes. So it isn't realistic, but at the same time, it isn't. We haven't got a lot of cracking good laugh lines. It's situation in a way.